everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my second update for the Graveyard Project Pan. This is a collaborative project pan that was started by Emily and Max. Her channel is so amazing. She does panning and beauty related content, and she also has a second channel which is McKinnis Mama, where she does more like lifestyle, some gardening, some like family kind of content as well. So definitely recommend that you go check out both of her channels. I will have them linked both in the description box of this video. She's the one that came up with the amazing concept of Graveyard Project Pan, and I've been doing it ever since she came up with this idea. So I started this back in 2019, and it is such a fun project pan for myself because it's really focused on using your like neglected and older makeup products, things that you have, you know, kind of put to the back burner and have just been forgotten about. So there are actually two different categories of products and prompts that you can use to select your items to focus on in this project pan. You can really tailor this to you, but the focus is truly just to focus on products that aren't being used well enough, things that are being forgotten about. And this project just has that cute, spooky theme running all through it, hence the name Graveyard Project Pan. There is a playlist for all of those participating here on YouTube, and there's also a hashtag so you can check this out over on Instagram. It's hashtag Graveyard Project Pan 2021. I believe you can also use just Graveyard Project Pan as well. So yeah, lots of content to binge watch with this project. It is so fun. I love participating in it, and I love consuming this content from other creators as well. But why don't we hop on into the progress that I have made since my last update. This project is gonna wrap up on Halloween Day, and we do the updates every other month. So this is the second update, but we have been actually working on these products for 4 months now. All of the products I'm gonna share with you today, I have had them in since the introduction. I didn't roll anything out or roll anything new in update number 1. So the first item I have here, and the first few I wanna talk about, are gonna be in that collecting cobwebs category. So they're just things that I wanted to get use out of that weren't being reached for enough. And the first thing is this Becca Glow Gloss in the shade Opal. My goal with this, because it was just looking so completely opaque, there was absolutely no visible usage on this, even though I had had it in my collection for a couple years, like probably about a year and a half when I first started this project. I decided I just wanted to make some visible use on it. I wanted it to look loved. I wanted it to look like it was something I was reaching for, because it wasn't something I was reaching for prior to putting it into this project. And I think you can tell it looks hella loved now. Last update, it still was looking very much opaque, but I could feel that there was less product in here, but it still was just like, it didn't seem to want to settle in any sort of way. There was no visibility happening through the tube. It looked completely opaque still. And so this is quite a leap. It looks completely different now from my last update. So there is a ton of products showing through on the sides here. There's actually just a collection of product up at the top, and as well as a small collection of product here at the bottom. But generally this is pretty much empty, this entire section here. So I've used up a ton of this product. I've pretty much finished off what I can reach with the wand. In fact, if I kind of like swivel the wand like this and I try to pull it out, there's barely anything that comes up on the wand, and I'm not able to get like a nice fully opaque kind of saturation on the lips. I have to kind of build it with a few more swipes. So it's about that time where I have to take out the stopper now. So I have surpassed my goal, I think, at this point. I've been reaching for this so much, and I'm gonna roll it out of this project, even though I guess I could probably finish it in the next 2 months. I just want to kind of focus on something else in this project. The next product in the collecting cobwebs category is this right here. This is the Derma E Essentials Sun Protection Mineral Powder SPF 30. I rolled this into this project because I was kind of reaching for it on occasion, but it expired in July of 2021. So I had the hope and dream that I would finish this by that date. Unfortunately, I still have product in here, but I'm not really using it these days for the SPF factor. I've never really used it as a product that I used as a standalone SPF anyways. It was more of like either just a touch up or a dry shampoo, quite honestly. The progress is way slower than I had anticipated. I thought, okay, so this is a tiny little tub. There's not much going on here. It's not gonna take very long if I kind of prioritize it. However, I have been making very slow progress, and I reach for this almost every day. I'm not wearing it today on my face, but lately I have been using this as like a setting powder whenever I can, and that's most times that I do my makeup. It is a little bit of a hassle because now this is like completely not working. There's no product that's being dispersed from this brush applicator, so I always have to take off the bottom, and it's just a little bit of a nuisance, but I'm working my way through it regardless. I just realized the markings are completely gone on here. At one point I was marking my progress on here. I think I started somewhere around like right under this white line here, but actually I'm not entirely sure at this point. Either way, I know I've made progress. Like, it definitely is visibly different, and I should be able to finish it up by the end of this project pan. And the final product in the Collecting Cobwebs category is this right here. This is the Masquerade Mini by Juvia's Place. I hadn't reached for this in quite some time. It was a product that I had never rolled into my pan, those eyeshadows, and I thought, you know what, it'd be kind of fun to reach for it in this project pan without a goal of trying to hit pan in anything, just to reach for it because it is really fun, quite a beautiful color story, and it was something that I coveted for quite some time before I ended up deciding to pick it up. And then, you know, my collection has grown and changed and adapted over the last like 3 years that I've owned this, so it kind of fell by the wayside for a short while there. But my goal with this is to use it 25 times. I had previously reached for it only 6 times between April and June, which I think is really quite sad. But I ended up reaching for it an additional 9 times, bringing me up to 15 uses with this palette. So I just need to use it more, wow, I'm having a hard time. I just need to use it an additional 10 times to reach my goal for the finale. And given that I reached for it 9 times previously, I can do 10 times, no problem, by October 31st. I am wearing this palette exclusively on my eyes today. I actually did film a palette bingo with this, and I'm hoping that the footage is okay, so I will share that with you within this week or in a few days after you see today's video. But I love the look that I came up with the palette bingo. I've been reaching into these shades as often as I can in conjunction with my Pan Those eyeshadows and other focus eyeshadows, but I didn't think it would take me this long to reach my goal. It's just, I'm using so many different palettes in different projects that this one does seem to fall by the wayside. Even though it still is a priority product, it just seems to be the case for me. Unfortunately, she is really beautiful, but yeah, I just haven't been reaching for it at the magnitude that I wish I had been. So 10 more uses by the end of this project, and that will be a vast improvement from how it had been used even throughout this project, but previously in the last like year, I don't think I had reached for it 25 times collectively. So yes, excited to continue to reach for this. I didn't think it was gonna take me this long to reach my goal, but that's okay. I'm definitely gonna reach my goal by the finale. And the next category that I want to talk to you about is those resurrection products. So these are products that have been in previous project pans. The first one here is one that has lived in this specific project pan all 3 years that I've participated. And my initial goal with it was to hit pan, and then my next goal was also to hit pan, and I finally hit pan back in 2020. Now my goal is to finish it up. It is this Milani Luminoso Baked Powder Blush. It's a cult classic here on YouTube. This product has been in my collection for absolutely eons. I've now moved with it twice, and I lived in my previous apartment nearly 6 years. So that goes to show you the age of this dang thing, okay? And my goal is to finish it off, like I said. I'm working towards that goal. I am not entirely sure that by the end of October I'll be able to finish this up, but I do believe that I should be able to finish this up by the end of this year in any case. So I'm making that headway, I'm making that momentum, I'm getting to that end goal eventually, maybe not within this project, but I do foresee myself being able to actually finish it off in 2021, which is fabulous because, as I said, she's hella old. I'm wearing this today on my cheeks. I do have another like glowy blush on top and a cream blush underneath, so I kind of have this major blush cocktail happening, but this is giving me quite a bit of glow and that gorgeous coral shade. Even though I've used this so much throughout the past few years, I still love this blush. I love the way that it looks, the way that it blends onto the skin. I just find that this is such an effortless formula and color, and I'm really happy to be using it yet again, but I'm also really happy that it's getting close to done. Sorry if things just kind of shifted a little bit. I realized my camera battery was flashing. It was really mad at me, so I had to just quickly swap out batteries. But in any case, this next product is also a resurrection product from the Graveyard Project pan as well. I had this in this project last year. I was attempting to hit pan on it, I believe, in this project last year, but I had also had it in a project in 2019 with the goal of hitting pan on it as well. It is this teeny weeny little Becca Sunlit Bronzer in the shade Bronzed Bondi. This was a part of a 500 point perk at Sephora. You've heard this a million times on my channel by this point, because this dang thing, although it's just a deluxe size sample, it has lived a long life with me. It's insane. So my goal in this project is to actually finish it off, and I've done so. I know it's just a mini bronzer. It's not like, you know, the biggest ever accomplishment by any means. Not that panning makeup is like the biggest ever accomplishment in the grand scheme of things ever, but I feel like this was a lot of freaking work. I have been committed to this product for so long. It has truly been on my channel so many times, and I'm so happy it's finally freaking gone. I finished it last week, so it took me 4 months in this project to use it up after hitting pan on it last year, and I believe I had it in this project for 2 months. I don't think I had it in for the whole project last year, but I had it in for 2 months in order to hit pan on it, and I had it in a different project pan for several months previously trying to hit pan on it. So she was determined to live forever and to just be here for an eternity, but look at that. It's empty, it's empty, it's empty. Finally, I used it as eyeshadow so many times. I've used it as bronzer, obviously, so many times. I've used it as a bronzer on my body even, and it just was never ending. It's advertised to have had a net weight of 1.7 grams, which is just like basically an eyeshadow. But wow, it lived. And the last product in this project is a resurrection, not from this project, but it has been in numerous project pans as well. Many a project pans. I had this Wet n Wild Megaglow Highlighting Powder in 2 project pans in the past. One was my Mission 100% cruelty-free project pan that I did back, I believe, in 2019? I don't recall the year. I had done that for several months, and I hit pan on it in that project, I believe. And then I rolled it into my 20 favorites in 2020 back last year, and I had it in the project the entire year. I was working towards trying to kind of use it up and expand the pan, I believe. I don't know, I can't keep track at this point. But my goal this time around was to finish it up, and I did. I finished it up. And I said that in my last update I was going to finish it for today, and I'm so thrilled to have actually done that. Oh my gosh, I was bathing in this highlighter recently though. That's the reason why I was able to finish it up. When we were getting close to this update time having to happen, I realized, oh my gosh, I might not actually have it done, but I ended up finishing it, I believe, yesterday. I used it as an inner corner highlight when I was finishing up my look yesterday, and then I tossed a tiny little bit on my shoulders as well, just to kind of pull the look together and to finish up every last bit. And she's done. This is one of those products that held on for a long time as well, and I definitely got my money's worth out of this. I've had this for many years, but I'm so happy to be done with a highlighter. It is such a rare occasion that I finish up a highlighter, so this feels so good. I also no longer purchase from Wet n Wild. I mean, I'm not really purchasing makeup at the moment anyways. The reason why I don't support this brand is because when they made that shift from going to the Chinese market, where there is, or at the time there was, more mandatory animal testing, they were really secretive about it, very sneaky and actually not very honest about that decision. And that really rubbed me the wrong way. That made me feel really angry at this brand. And I still kind of have a little bit of that resentment just because it just is weird. Like, I don't understand this lack of transparency in that kind of thing when it's so easy to prove that they were selling in mainland China. So whatever, it is what it is. That is a very long-winded story as to why I'm not supporting this brand, but I no longer purchase from them and I'm happy to have this done. I think this was my last Wet n Wild product in my collection, so this feels really, really good to have it done and out of my life. I cannot wait to have it in my year-end empties and then have it out of my life forever. So I actually hit my goal on 3 products, which means we're gonna be rolling 3 new products into this project. That is amazing. We're gonna be rolling a couple products into this project, as I said. So I'm going to be rolling in 2 Resurrection products to replace the 2 that I just rolled out, and 1 Collecting Cobwebs product. Let's start with that one. So the Collecting Cobwebs product that I'm gonna be rolling in is this from Catrice. I did receive this in PR back at the very end of 2019. This is the Illuminating Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. I love how Catrice always has long ass names. Love it for me. Anyways, so this is a kind of dewy but long lasting setting spray. It really does lock your makeup into place, but offers that nice illuminated kind of look. As you can see, I don't have very much left in here. This was never like a massive amount of product anyways, but I'm down to about here. So I'm gonna mark it and I wanna use it up in the next 2 months. I don't actually foresee that being any sort of major challenge. This initially had 50 mils in it, and you can see I've used up far more than half in this. I have about 1/3 of this product remaining. When I reach for this consistently, I'm able to see visible progress made on it really quickly. So I want to finish it up and get it out of my life before the end of October. And I don't see that being too much of a challenge. I can use it to intensify eyeshadows. I can use it to set my face, refresh my face, whatever, whenever. And then the Resurrection products that I have here, the first one is a Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder in the shade 2 Medium. I did have this in my 20 favorites in 2020 project pan with the goal of hitting pan on it. Now I have pretty significant pan on it and I'd like to just continue expanding the pan. I don't foresee myself in 2 months being able to finish this up, but I just want to keep making progress on it because this is something that I'd like to work its way out of my collection, you know, in a relatively timely manner. So I've had this in my collection just under 2 years at this point, and it would be nice to just see it looking much more loved by the end of this year. I have been reaching for this quite a bit throughout this summer already because this shade is actually really good for me at this time of year. So I have already expanded the pan a little bit, but I just want to kind of monitor it and see where I'm at by the end of the 2 months. And the last product is also a Resurrection. I had it in a round of Roulette Pan collab, I believe at the very beginning of 2020. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Blush in the shade Natural Glow. My goal in that project was to hit pan on it, and I did do so in that project. However, I want to actually try to finish this off within this year. I don't foresee that being possible at this point. I kind of wish that I had rolled it into this project a little bit earlier on, but I digress. I'm going to continue to work on it. I'm going to really focus on this. I am wearing it today on this like inner portion of my cheeks to kind of wear as a blush topper because this is not a blush in my opinion. This is a peachy highlight. It's not a blush. Look at this. How is that a blush? But it's a gorgeous like rose gold peach kind of shade highlight, and it makes a beautiful blush topper. So that's how I generally use it. Again, I'm not going to be able to finish this up in this project by any means, considering there's only 2 months remaining. However, I'd like to just expand the pan, keep focusing on it, and hopefully just make it so that I'm that much closer to being able to use this up. Whether it's this year or next year, that's fine. But I'd like to just make some more visible and consistent progress on this and ensure that it's something that I'm using. Now that I finished off this Wet n Wild highlighter, I think I can just kind of reach for this in similar sorts of ways. I can wear it on the body, I can wear it on my brow bone, I can wear it as a blush topper, as a highlight. Physicians Formula and Wet n Wild do have the same parent company, and a very similar thing went down when Physicians Formula entered the Chinese market as what happened with Wet n Wild, and it just kind of rubs me the wrong way, and I want to use up what I do own by Physicians Formula, but I'm just not going to repurchase it when it's done. It's not really something I want to promote or encourage here on my channel, and yet I want to finish off what I have, so it does have its moment here on my channel getting used up. But I just kind of want to clarify that and speak to that. So that is everything for today's update. I'm super hyped on the fact that I hit my goal on 3 items. I actually used up 2 entire products from my collection, which feels great. And we rolled in 3 new additional products. So as I said, I'm gonna be wrapping up this project on the 31st of October on Halloween Day. So I will see you then for sure for that update, but that is everything for today's update. Definitely go check out the playlist if you're interested in seeing more panning content like this. Go check out the creator of this project, Emily, and that is everything for me today. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.